So now you collected an input output structure. Okay. So what is next? So now now we can do the transform. Okay. So now what is needed? Now I am going to perform a transformation. So the next step, I want to test this out, right? And see whether this transformation, whatever we have done, the format, the XML to JSON, is it happening or not? So we need a message, right?
Yes.
So the next foremost important point, after receiving input output structure mapping detail, you should ask for an input data.
Okay.
Okay. So output, no need to worry. We are going to produce the output, and then you can ask them if they have a sample output that we can compare and verify the results. But input is very much needed. Again, that is a mandatory to develop any map.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So now you have input output structures, mapping details, you have input. So now you are good to start any transformations things. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, as I told, we'll take an example of XML as an input, and I'm going to transform into a JSON or fixed message. Okay. So whatever input I'm taking, that I'll put it in some files. Okay. Example, this I'll show you. Okay. So I have you can still maintain your own folders. Okay. If you want to see the other folders, then you have to come to the navigator views. Okay. So here you can able to see that. Here we can maintain our own files. For example, I'm going to do the transform. So I'll be having.
Anand, I'm not able to see the screen moving. Okay, might be because of the internet.
Yeah, it will be little light delay.
Okay.
Okay, so you are seeing my screen.
Yeah. This is which window? Like this is an existing
I'm in
project.
existing project. I'm in the file system. I'm just opening the messages. Okay, I just opened one message called Surface Open. Are you seeing this?
That's SOA and
Yes, correct. So you are seeing, right? So as
yeah.
I mentioned, this is the input file. Okay, so add a structure and some values I'm putting. And if they are not giving when you start your development, you can still go ahead with your dummy values, but you need to maintain the structure. Okay.
Okay.
So now we have this one. So the next thing is to develop a map, right? We need a type tree. So now you have input, you have output structures, and you have input data. Now, to develop a map, you need a type tree. Okay. So what is type tree here? Right? It's basically the structure of the input output, which can be understood by this. Okay. So meaning, if you are the Rust one Swagger file will be a common pattern, right? Which can be understood by any of the Rust system who are they're doing development. They'll use, they can understand. So similar that to understand the structure properties, so we need to create a type tree. Type tree is basically replica of the input and output messages. Okay, and the property of it. Example, okay, if you see this is the identity field, right? In the identity, if you see, this will be a string field.
So Anand, can you share the simple example? This must be like a bigger one.
No. Again, you don't concentrate on multiple things. What I'm telling, see, the same example I told you here, we need to have the input and output structure. Now, input couple of fields will be there, right? As I told, identity one field, host home code is one field. Now, each field will have a property, right? See, when we are exposing, it can be a string or float or integer field type, and if it is size will be 1 to 20 characters. So these are the properties that will be set up, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing will be put into on a type tree, the same. So example, if you see, this is a field, identity is a one field, and for this, what is the property is a string, whether it can accept a null value or not. Again, I don't want to go depth. So it will be basically property of that particular field. So now this type tree also will be containing the same, okay? Meaning it will have the same fields, what is there in the schema or what is there in the swagger or what is there in the fixed length file. I was talking about fixed length copybook, right? Mainframe. So mainframe, we are dealing with the copybook. So that will be there. Now each one will have the details. Example, request. Request will have the components. Okay. So here in this case, patient segment, provider segment, client segment. Now inside the patient segment, what are the fields should be there? Then provider segment, what are the fields should be there? So like this. So this will have the same, this schema will be converted into on a WTX understandable format that is called type tree. The extension of the type tree will be .mtt. Okay. So M stand for marketer type tree. So that's why they still maintaining that MTT.
Okay.
So this will be the same. Input side we need to have a type tree. Output side we should have a type tree. What is this type tree will be doing it? It is exactly same as the schemas or the Swagger file, the JSON structure. It will have the say structure. What field should come first? What should come next? And whether it is a mandatory or optional. Whether it had a property. Example: first name should be a 20 character. Middle name should be one length, last name should be in a 20 character, and email id should be having an 50 characters. So like that, whatever we are defining, that will be available in the property. Okay, it will be there in the type tree. Okay, so now whatever the input structure, the output structure, example we are talking about input as an xml, output we are going to create it as a json. Now input side XML, we should have the schema that will give this structure to us with the definition. And output side, we can use the JSON message or we can take the Swagger file. And sorry.
No problem.
So that will be converted to on a type tree. Okay, input, output side. Now, once the type tree created, we'll do the development of the map. So this I'm just showing an example. So see, before we get into it, right, you just get an overview.
Okay.
So this is there. Now, same way for output also I'll create. So I'll create one for request, one for response, and I'll maintain here. Now, any schemas we talked about that we are maintaining in the schema folder. So you can see here the corresponding schema file will be available here. Then if you go to on a map, okay, map will be in the extension of .mms. Okay, type tree will be .mtt. Map file extension will be .mms. Okay, that's how it will be there. Now, when you go to on a map, okay. So as I told, we are doing the transform one format to the other format. So here input side we call it as or input card. Okay, this is output side or output card. This side is whatever the message will be coming. This will be producing the output structure. Okay. So this will be the map, and the map will be following this one. If you see here, it's like you can see it as a tree structure. One parent and followed by the child things will be there. I'll explain you again in the upcoming sessions, right? You will be understanding why this parent, child, and even inside child's multiple this child's grandchild's and all, right? So this you can understand in the upcoming things. But the maps will be looks like this. It will have input side, output side. Input side, what is the format that we are accepting? Output side, what is the output that we are going to produce? So these are the information should be there. With this, we are going to perform this transformation. So any question?
So what I understood is like the type tree is basically we are defining the structure of the input and output, and
Correct.
map is the place where we define the rules, like how the transformation should happen. So
Correct.
that is the understanding, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So you are on track. Now we'll go to a lab. Okay. So the first lab, right?
Yeah.
So you need to understand the type trees and the properties of all of that. Okay.
Yeah.
So for that, I have the first lab. Okay. So what you can do, okay, I'll show you here, then you can do that. Okay. So if you go to this one to create a type tree, so in the type tree folder, right click and go for an option, this one. So you see in a new import and export options. Okay. So this will be for the type trees. Okay.
Okay.
When you come here, you'll have only the type tree option from the project. But
Hmm.
if you want to deal with the type trees, you can click on the type tree folders and you'll see an a three option. One is an a new, another one is an a import, other one is an export. When you go with the new, either we can create a file under the type tree, okay, any file, okay, or you
Okay.
can create a folders, then you can go with this one. If you want to create a type tree, then you have to go with that type tree options. So now I'll select the type tree. Okay. Now it will
So,
be asking me to
sorry to
name.
interrupt, Anand. So the file means here it's a flat file,
Any
or
file you can keep. I mean, just an options there. So you can keep anything, but we are now focusing on the type trees.
okay.
Okay. So go to type tree, right click, go with the new and type tree options. Now we need to give the name. Okay. I'll say demo input type tree. Okay. I'm giving that. And here I need to select the project. Okay. After giving in a file name, then I need to select a project. Then click on the finish. Okay. So now you see it was empty. Now you see there is a demo input type tree. Okay. .mtt file has been generated. Right.
The
And
extension we need to exclusively give here, like
no need.
.mt.
No need. So if you
No
see
need.
here, going input, say new type tree. See, here I'm typing demo output type tree. See, that's it. I did not
Oh,
type.
no
I'm select.
extension.
Yes,
Okay.
you no need to mention any
Anything.
extension. It will
Okay.
automatically type. I'll click on the finish. You see
Okay.
the file name. I did not mention the extension. I just
Hmm.
select the this one, and automatically .mtt extension will be added. Okay,
Okay.
it will be takes care automatically. Okay,
Yeah.
now I have type tree. So when I go here, in the other example when I shown, it had a lot of informations, right, details. So
Hmm.
but here it is not there,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So that means we have to create it. Okay, so how we have to create? Okay, if you go to one type tree, right click on this root, I can click on the add option. Then it will ask, do you want to add a new type? Say yes. Okay. And it will be adding this one. I'll say root. Okay. I'll say root input. Okay. Input. I'm giving it. Now this is where you go to one of properties. Okay. And if you go to one of property for this particular field or the item we added, you understand that one something we added one this
Yeah.
one, okay, and it will have the different categories. Example, that's why first you need to create add,
Add.
then right click this particular one, go for on a property.
Okay.
Okay, if you go to on a property, there will be a property tab opening. You can see this is a name. So here when I created that one item, I given some name. So is it possible to edit this one? Yes, you can do it. See,
Yeah. The name
right?
can be changed.
So
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
so that can be renamed anytime.
Hmm.
Okay, so you can do the renaming. Then what is the next one is on the class. So class, it will be talking about kind of what type of field this one. Okay, simple understanding. So here we have three things. One is in a category, group,
Mm-hmm.
and item. Okay. So
Okay.
if I in the group, sorry, category, it will be with this symbol, triple rectangle symbol.
Okay.
If I change this one to group,
Group. Okay.
okay, then you see it is changed to circle, right?
Yeah.
Then if I change that one to an item, then you see it is coming with an kind of a star,
Star. Yeah.
right? So
Yes.
it had a category, group, and item. Now you can ask me, eh, when the type tree is there are three different type of classes that you showed me. One is
Correct.
in a category, another one is in a group,
Item.
then item.
Yes.
So when I have to choose which one,
Mm. Correct.
right?
Yes.
Now I'll go back to the same example of the XML request. So here you see this find claim listing is on a root parent, right? And then I have a subgroup category called service category. Inside I have a field called identity. This is, we know some field going to have a value, and same home code format type is on a field which is going to get some value. Now any of this you can go with an item. Okay, so simple understanding. You are dealing with an member data. Okay, so member data is the parent one. Inside, employee ID, employee name, employee address, employer salary, employer department. These are the field that is going to have some value, right? That one you can go with an item. You're clear?
Meaning like this is the header record data, those kind, right? Like, uh,
Correct.
yeah.
So
In
it's
that
a simple
example,
way.
can you explain, Anand? Like you were
Okay.
showing
So
the example,
now,
right? Yeah.
yeah. So here, okay, I'll go identity, right? If you see identity is on a one field, I can go identity is on a item. So identity is a field.
Huh.
In this category, I'll take this as an item. Now I can give any description. This is an optional field. So you
Hmm.
want to give any description, you can give it. Then the intent is general. Then this should be setting some property, right? Example, this is an identity field, should be accepting the string value, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
now that one we are defining here. That's where you need to focus on this item.